Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome back to Fallout New Vegas, You Only Live Once. Well, last time, we kicked off our adventure right here in Goodsprings. And today, right, it's time to leave the safety of our starting town and head out into the wider world, where things could go very wrong very quickly, and admittedly, yes, there are a lot of directions we could go. In a traditional playthrough, you'd be going south to Prem, though, as we discussed last episode, because I didn't actually personally murder any powder gangers, we could also head eastwards to the NCRCF, though, actually, I've got something else in mind first. For my first journey out into the world, I want to head northwards, and I know what you're thinking, John. There's literally a keep out sign right there. You're blatantly not supposed to go that way, and it's true, you're not, because there's cazadors down there, and cazadors would absolutely destroy me, so don't you worry. I've got a bit of a different approach in mind. You see, if we head west from Goodsprings, we pretty much hit the edge of the map, which is generally pretty empty, pretty safe, etc, etc, so that's precisely what we're going to do. And for now at least, I don't want to use a stealth boy, so we're doing this while technically detectable. But it's night, I'm wearing very light armor, and the route I'm planning should be pretty safe. So yeah, we're just going up this slope, just by the edge of Goodsprings, right here. Anything to watch out for is, yes, there can be a coyote floating around in this bit of the world, so we just need to watch out for that, but yeah, he would show up on my compass, so I think we're okay for the time being. And John, you're struggling with a very small ledge here. Promise we can make it up this. There we go. That's fine. Just do a quick VAT scan. Okay. If there's no coyote, we should be a-okay. We're making no noise, because my armor weighs basically nothing. My sneak is pretty good. And yeah, we're sneaking along in the dark. It's all gonna be fine. So yeah, all we do is we creep along here, keeping this cliff to the left of us, but also keeping these mounds of dirt to the right. Any cazadors down on the road will not be able to detect me. So yeah, now we just keep going till we see a couple of craters on the left. So if I'm right, we should be coming up on those. There we go. And you may notice there's nothing round here, because at the very edge of the map, there very often it isn't. It's just a nice little empty bit of the world we can use as a convenient highway to move around. So, okay. Keep on keeping on. Nice and calm so far. And yeah, in just a second, if we can just get at the slope too, we should be looking down on, yes, a nice big drop. We can even see Vegas in the distance over there. Beautiful. But we are not going for that location. That's marked on my compass. Instead, yeah, just look for a slightly more shallow descent here. And there's my destination. Marked by, yes, a little yellow tick on the compass. Because for some reason, the ravens, yes, they count as like, you know, neutral entities. So you can sometimes use them for navigation. This right here, this is why I bought that shovel. Goodsprings Cemetery, that's nice to have, but this is what I really wanted. Chance's flipping grave. So that gets me some great Khan simple armor. We don't need that, that's absolutely fine, because what I'm really after is Chance's knife, a unique variant of the combat knife, and, okay. This thing is a really bloody good knife, though before I talk about, like, you know, precisely how, show it off, etc, etc, how about we, like, get out of here? Because I kind of feel a tiny bit nervous that we're having this conversation while there are cazadors just round the corner. So just grab that, leave the armor. Jeff, we just back off over here. We should be far enough away, we can just fast travel back to Goodsprings. And there we go, we are allowed to fast travel, spot on. So, just mosey on back to the centre of town, on this occasion hidden not mysteriously in caution for no reason, so, right. That knife is going to be, well, I don't want to say useful, because me and Chance's knife, we're going to have a complicated relationship. Because, you see, if you know this game well, you're probably aware Chance's knife is amazing, because the swing speed of it is just lovely, so the DPS is slightly flipping bananas. However, I'm not actually going to be using it that often. And if I do use it, it means something has gone very, very wrong indeed. Because if I get this out, it means there's an enemy in front of me who knows I'm here and is in melee range. And I just need to slash at them with the highest DPS I've got access to. Basically, this is one of my panic weapons. If something goes wrong, we get out this weapon. But if everything goes right, I'll never have to. Which means there's a good chance I'll be needing it quite a bit. But yes, generally, if I'm getting this thing out, I'm going to be panicking at the time. I'm also very aware that, yes, the damage is at 20 versus the baseball bat, which currently has damage of 14. But do remember, the entire point of the baseball bat is that thanks to Grand Slam, it could do double damage. So, okay, this is how things are going to go out in the wider worlds. If I could sneak up on an enemy, then yeah, what I want to do is use the baseball bat, because then I could stack the Grand Slam multiplier with all the other melee multipliers, and do a slightly ridiculous amount of damage. If an enemy sees me, however, then yes, we go over to plan B, using the 9 iron to knock them down, using the unique 4 attack. And once they're down on the ground, that's when we get out Chance's knife, because that 78 DPS is going to tear through anything in the early game pretty bloody fast. So, yeah. These are the 3 weapons that are hopefully going to keep me alive during the early game. There's also one more thing I want to do before we leave town, and this was actually an idea that came from the comments. I hadn't really properly considered this, but okay, there is something rather hilarious we can do right here in Goodspring. So just, yes, mosey into the saloon. No reason not to help myself to some free lock-picking XP while we're just heading inside and whatnot, and because it's night, yes, the saloon is going to be mostly a bit on the empty side. Apart from, yes, Ringo, who's just sort of here. Okay, Ringo, why are you doing the idle animation for a flipping bartender right now? You're not a bartender, you're a trader. Okay, this is somewhat annoying because, yes, my plan was to rob the place. Specifically to take all the alcohol, though. Let's Ringo right now. Okay, right now he's just sitting down, so I can just grab that, grab the beer as well. Lovely. Crack open the computer to open the safe. There's a good chance of, yes, some more flipping booze in there as well. There we go, quite a bit of additional booze. Spot on. Okay, luckily Ringo is, yes, chilling out for the time being, so I myself to a few more bits and pieces just to make sure he's not starting to get up, which is fine. Yes, there is a very particular reason I want to rob the bar right now. Because, you see, in this game, leveling up is not the only way to get perks. There are also perks you unlock by doing certain things. So, for example, if I just, drink a fair bit of alcohol and whatnot, there we go. I start making progress towards Day Tripper, an achievement that wants me to do 25 addictive chems. Though, 1, I can't get addicted, and 2, just like we were discussing last episode, yeah, the game's got a bit of a wide definition of chems. So, booze counts as an addictive chem because it's a potentially addictive consumable. So, basically, what I'm going to do now is drink literally all the alcohol in Trudy's bar, including but not limited to 5 entire bottles of vodka, then 6 bottles of whiskey, then just wash that down with 4 bottles of wine, and that's literally just enough to gain the Day Tripper perk. So you've done enough chems to know how to hold on to the effects for just a while longer. This basically adds, oh hang on, is it 25 or 33%? It adds a certain amount on, it's either 25 or 33, I actually can't remember off the top of my head, to the effects of any chems. But once again, chems doesn't mean chems in this game, chems means any consumable. Meaning my stealth boys don't last 4 minutes anymore, they last a good 5. So, okay, there's more we could do yet, but bloody hell, this is getting ridiculous already. Oh, and I also get some XP for that as well, because when you complete an achievement, there's often a tiny bit of XP involved. So, okay. That done, probably best we leave town before Trudy gets up for the day. Because in a perfect world, yeah, she'll blame Ringo, because he's the one who was hanging out in the bar overnight. Spot on. So, okay, all that done, time to mosey on down to Prem. That's my first destination, and let's just say, yes, this might be a bit more of a stressful journey than you might reasonably be expecting. Yeah, if I'm not attacking anyone, keep the weapon away. because the way this game calculates your weight is it's all the armor you're currently wearing, plus your weapon if you've got it out. If your weapon's not out, it doesn't count towards your weight. So therefore, you're moving a bit quieter. So yeah, keep the weapon stashed if at all possible. So yeah, we're just moseying on down towards the Good Spring source. And also the interchange where we could go to either Sloan or Prem. The nice thing being, yeah, this area should be nice and chill, because the geckos around here, pretty sure most of them only get spawned in by doing a Sunny Smiles' mission. So, because we decided to turn down the gecko hunting, yeah, there's just less geckos here than there would be otherwise, though, yeah. That's not to say there's no one in this bit of the world. First up, hang on. Somewhere around here, I've got an old friend I need to say hello to. Oh, there we go. Mr. Barton Thorne. Me and you need to have some words.
My girl is trapped by geckos on the ridge, and I can't get to her. Please, she's going to die.
You know what, Mr. Thorne? I feel like you might be lying to me. So, we're not going up onto the ridge, because the ridge is swarming in geckos, and I do not want to be dealing with them. Instead, it's time to get out the old baseball bat. Because he's indeed just a sneak up behind the sky. He's not really going to detect me in any way, because I am very light, very quiet, etc, etc, and you might look at his health meter and think, yes, I'm a very, very long way from finishing this guy off. With Grand Slam, where we get to double the damage, then add on the crit damage, then multiply everything by 5. Okay, let's just say this is all going to be absolutely fine. Just get in over there, sneak attack critical, down you go. I'll be having all of your money as well. So, step the next, just a mosey in this direction towards the interchange by the sign. Because as we were discussing in last episode, even though there are powder gangers around here, these powder gangers are going to be chill. Because me and the powder gangers are fine with each other. They don't love me or anything, but they're not actually going to attack me, and, okay, booze is starting to wear off. Is that the only booze that's going to wear off? Because, yes, booze stacks in a slightly weird way in this game, where different types of booze, there we go, I found multiple locations, beautiful, where, yes, like, beer and beer variants are one type of booze, but also spirits are all clustered together as well, so, okay, let's not worry about it, the booze has worn off, and that's a good thing. But yes, here we go. We have got the lovely, sexy Gina skydiving hut right here. And a whole bunch of powder gangers who are absolutely a-okay with me. These guys, together with those ones over there, though, yeah, be a bit careful with those camps. There are some landmines that are very difficult to bloody say. So we're going to be avoiding that. But no reason not to, yes, pop in here while we're passing by. If only because, yeah, having this location tagged, meaning we could get back to it later, not going to be a bad thing at all. And yeah, this one is average locked in here, but I know for a fact... Okay, there's a star bottle cap here, which I'm going to be avoiding, because I don't want to be jump scared by Malcolm Mahomes. So screw that noise, we're just avoiding picking that up. And yeah, nothing much, just a handful of money and ammo. Now this next stage of the journey, though, this bit scares me a bit, because, yes, Obsidian decided to be all clever and do some showing off. Which is, when you're walking to Prem, a whole bunch of events just happen. Like, you know, a gecko chasing a rad roach, etc, etc. Which is fine, but I don't appreciate the game just spawning enemies out of nowhere. Because some of the time, they just ignore you. And sometimes, they just cocking don't. So, yes, it's possible we're about to have our first fight. But, in all fairness, that's not a bad thing. It'll give me a chance to, yes, just demonstrate and practice how we use the various different weapons I've got. And as there's a good chance we might be going into, yeah, an open fight here, 9-iron. That's the weapon I want to have to hand. So okay, step 1, just mosey down the road, staying, yes, towards the left, if we can. Because the geckos tend to be on the right. Powder gangers on the left, but as we've said, the powder gangers are chill. We've got no problem with them. Just not too far left, because the powder gangers have also laid explosive charges, which I do not want to walk into. That would be bad. So, there's Prem right there. There's a powder ganger. No trouble, buddy. No trouble. So, yeah, the actual... Oh, there we go. There's just a gecko doing his own thing. And, yeah, just Keep on scanning. I'm detected, but that's fine. It's just a powder ganger, probably. And right, also watch out because there can be a couple of bloat flies over on the left here, and they're annoying and small. I don't want to be dealing with them. But okay. Now, we just keep an eye out for nonsense. Predetermined, prescripted nonsense. Because... where are you? Where are you, you bastards? I know you show up. Watch out for, yeah, a handful of rads here. That's fine. Just a tiny handful of rads. Rads are permanent too, of course, but that was only for a split second. It's possible, I didn't actually test this, that, yeah, maybe if you're not on the road, you don't hit the trigger for, like, 3 geckos running across the road. Or they just haven't spawned in because New Vegas is New Vegas, and sometimes New Vegas just cocking and breaks. Because there's that cocking a fly. I think we've bypassed, yeah, the 3 geckos, where sometimes one of them just sort of decides, hey, I'm going to turn around and attack you. And there's the... oh, there we go. Just check nothing's behind me. There's a radroach taking on a gecko. And then, yeah, the geckos just sort of split apart and whatnot. And if we're lucky, you see, now suddenly there's cocky geckos everywhere. Because, and also one of them's just sort of cycling in midair right now. So you're just naffing off back over there. Is there one just sort of... oh, good! There's just a gecko hunter who's sort of stuck in the floor. And he's not naffing off. There is... hang on, there's also a young gecko hunter here. That's fine. And he's also doing a dance. Welcome to New Vegas, where stuff just sort of breaks occasionally. So, okay. That's... no, here we go. Question is, who's decided I'm actually a problem? Could be that gecko hunter. And if so, can he actually get to me? Because... okay, who's actually causing trouble right now? Because I'm suddenly surrounded by... you see, this is why I don't like this cocking around. It's fine. I'm pretty sure it's just check you're not... no, you're naffing off over there. Oh, bloody hell, okay. Thought he was stuck in the road. This is fine. He wants to attack me, but he's not going to be able to. Because I am going to knock him over. With a 1 single 4 attack. So go! He gets knocked over. I go straight into my flipping Pip-Boy. The reason being, I want to go over to Chance's knife. And also, I would like to use some flipping Psycho. Because I don't want to take a risk here. So we just use the Psycho. We get up and then we start going. And down you flipping go! Okay. Now we're still in. Oh, bloody... okay, now there's... no. Okay, now there's another one. This is... okay, this is fine. This is fine. No. I think he missed with his bite. He gets knocked over. Okay, he is knocked over right now. I still have full health, though honestly that's just by luck at this point. So now we just swing. He goes down. 2 are dead. We check we're okay. I get a tiny bit of XP. Welcome to cocking a Fallout New Vegas Sholo. Okay? Where all of a sudden, I can't just shoot enemies from a kilometre away. I actually need to cocking fight them. And also panic. Because against that first enemy, I definitely didn't, like, stand up for a second. I, like, pressed the button to come out of crouch too quickly and was staying crouched. Meaning I wasn't actually swinging as fast as possible. You only get the full swing speed when you're actually, like, not crouched. Otherwise you do, I think, possibly... I mean, I'm making the noise of a power attack. But that's not a power attack. So if you do a power attack, that's... you know what? If you'd asked me, I would have said power attack's 8 AP. Maybe it's an auto power attack when you're crouched, I'm not sure. I should know that. Like, starting a cocking a melee YOLO run when I don't 100% know all the rules of melee. Bad choice. Okay, we got away with that, because this road is just a very silly road where stuff happens. The alternative being, yes, a different way round that I didn't want to do either. Because I could have gone, yeah, over to the NCRCF, and then looped round the back here, and then walked down the side to Prim, like along those gates over there. But if you do, you can theoretically be fired upon by the raiders up on the roller coaster, and there are a bunch of bloatflies down there who could see you as well. Like, I think this is fine, because what I've demonstrated is that, yeah, a single melee enemy is not too difficult to deal with. What I didn't do, though, because clearly, yes, I need the cocking practice, is put on the leather armor. Why didn't you put on the leather armor once you were already under attack, John? Okay, I just didn't do that. That's fine, I suppose, because on this occasion, we got away with it. Just. Anyway, if we're this close to Prem, we're now safe. So, up we go. Hello there, Mr. NCR. I assume you want to tell me all about how Prem's off limits, etc., etc., and don't you worry, buddy. I've got my own plans for Prem. So, step one, just a mosey into the NCR encampment here. Beautiful. As long as I'm hidden, I can help myself to your ammo, which is functionally just free money. Lovely. There's also, yeah, a safe in the ruins round here, though I can't recall if it's, yeah, easy or average. Neither! It's literally just open, spot on. So help myself to all of that. Caravan shotgun. Not bad in terms of money, not bad at all, actually. Yes, while we don't need to speak to Lieutenant Hayes in this tent just yet, we can mosey into the other one over here, which is completely empty. And yeah, this is a good chance to get a few bits and pieces, including, if I were to want it, yeah, some proper NCR armor. Go on then. I'll take that, because given this is a melee build, I've got high strength, so loads of flipping carry capacity. No reason not to take all this, really. And yeah, I could take a proper helmet as well. So, just to blend all of those together, make them as good as possible, though, yeah, didn't get any extra DT on this occasion. So yeah, in an absolute emergency, I could go over to a proper full NCR outfit, and I would get my DT up to 12. Which is pretty bloody good in the early game. So, step the next, we're going into Prem. And I appreciate I don't have to go into Prem. Like, you know, I could just walk straight on by Prem and keep on keeping on. In fact, taken to its logical extreme, now I've got Stealth Boys at the last, like, 5 cocking minutes. I could definitely just go up to Sloan, and then, yeah, Stealth Boy my way to McCarran, nip into the strip with that armor I just picked up, and congratulations, we've wrapped up Act 1 of the game. Problem being, if I keep doing that, eventually I'm going to be massively underleveled and I won't be able to keep up with skill checks. Sooner or later, I need to do some optional things purely for the sake of XP, even if they're a bit dangerous. And Prim opens up the door to several relatively easy missions, like My Kind of Town, I Fought the Law, etc, etc. So, as a result, we're going in. But we're not going in via the front door, because there's landmines there, and there's literally no reason for me to deal with them. Because, yeah, I can just mosey over in this direction, just go to the end of the road here, then we just cross over to this side, beautiful, and I was about to say, then we just crawl along here, then just jump over the car, and we're inside the complex. Okay, so what I didn't realise till right now is also there's just a giant opening right here. Okay, I just learned something new, but fine, this is even easier. So okay, we've seen some open combat. Now it's time for a bit of stealth combat, because I can actually vat you guys through this railing. I should be able to. Speaking of which, where are the guys? There should definitely be 2 guys floating around in this bit of the world. They're standing in front of the Bison Steve, and inside the Bison Steve is Deputy Beagle, who needs to be rescued. But yes, if I want to get in here and do this, given we're now dealing with people with guns, and not, you know, geckos who don't have guns, highly conveniently, I think it's time for me to crack out a stealth boy. But if we're going to be doing this all proper sneaky stealthy-like, that means we need to go in at the right time of day. So step 1, and let's just advance time at 10 hours, so it's night. Because in the dark, obviously the enemy is much worse at detecting you. So yeah, night is your friend. And that'll be the Psycho. Excellent, the Psycho's just worn off. That was the one downside to waiting, because that unfortunately was my only dose. But, okay. I've currently got, yeah, Chancer's knife out. So we don't want that. What I want instead is the baseball bat. What I'm going to do, actually, is slightly improve it just for safety. Because I do have one weapon repair kit we got from Goodsprings. It's just to use that right now. And that gets the baseball bat up to 17 damage. So that's only like, 3 more. But that 3 is getting multiplied by 15. So it's a lot more damage when it actually comes to swinging this bat into people in a sneak attack. So okay, I should now be able to get a tiny bit closer without there being any risk of being spotted. What I'm expecting to see is, there we go, one escaped convict in a very fancy hat. But this guy is not alone. There is a second one. Okay, this guy, he just wanders around the plaza. There should be a second one who, yeah, very often is just leaning against a wall right there. But also occasionally walks towards the door of the Vickian Advance over on the left there. So, okay. What I want to say in a perfect world is that first guy leaning against the wall, and then him getting up and then walking off to the left. Because what I need to do is activate a stealth boy and take these guys out. But humans are intelligent. If they see one of their friends dying, even if they can't see me because I'm invisible, there's a good chance they're gonna still panic, etc, etc. So, here's the plan. I was gonna plot this all out like a military operation on the local map, then I realised, of course, the local map's not filled in yet, because we've not actually gone round the corner. But okay. The point is, I want to, yes, take out person number 1, who is very nearby to the Vickian Advance door. So, if we go into danger, we can just jump through the door in order to re-establish stealth, and then come back out and take out guy number 2. Because in Caution, you can't get sneak attack crits, which means these 2 guys are actually the most difficult to deal with. And the moment I activate the stealth boy, I'm on a timer. So what I've got next to me is a clock. So I can make a note of the time when I begin my stealth boy operation. Then I've got to, yes, basically keep track of real world time so I know when the stealth boy's going to wear off. But first, I want eyes on everyone. Seriously, buddy, where the cock are you? You're supposed to be... There he is! Okay. That's the guy. And yeah, looking at how much health he's got, if I get a sneak attack, I could kill him. If it's not a sneak attack, then things start getting a bit dicey. So yeah, what I want is for this guy to stand up and walk away. The moment he stands up and he walks away, it's go time. Though, actually, hang on. You, sir, have got a gun. But do you have a gun? Because if you don't have a gun, you're the best candidate to take out second. Because then, yeah, you can't shoot me. If you want to get me, you've got to run up to me, which means I can just knock you down with the golf club. So, okay, I'm changing the plan at the last minute. This is never a good sign. Oh, and there we go. Our lads just got up, and thanks to that, we now know Tyrion. So you are melee. Your friend is ranged, okay. The other guy goes down first, because all this guy can do is run towards me, at which point we can just knock him down and take him out with Chancer's knife. So that's not a huge problem. So, okay. It's flipping go time, just to make sure we're set up correctly here. Baseball bat, check. Light armor, check. And in a perfect world, I'd do some booze, but I drank the booze to get the perks, so, okay. Make a note of local time. Now got 5 minutes. So, okay. We are going the flip in. We'll take out the guy with the gun, and then this guy will realise probably what's going on. I might have been able to, yes, get him while he was actually turned away for a second, but unfortunately not. Though if you just mosey in this direction a bit further, peripheral vision at night can be a little bit on the poor side, so keep going, keep going, keep it going. No, he's going to see that, that's fine. So, okay. You, sir, now go down. This is going to put me in danger, which I didn't want ideally. In fact, I kind of wish I was taking on the other guy first at this point, because you might not see that, but okay. We just need to put everything together here. You go down. Are we immediately in? We are immediately in danger, so that is... we were supposed to be... I was about to say we're supposed to be immediately in danger, but we don't appear to be, so okay. As we're now in danger, do everything we need to do to prepare for danger. I'm now a member of the NCR. Great. I'm also wearing a special NCR hat. Lovely. Also, I have got, hang on, a golf club. Just back off, back off, back off. Let him come to me. So, right, you're coming at me, my friend. All we do is knock him down with one quick attack. We just need to be a tiny bit closer here. It's possible he'll get a swinging at me at the same time. But if he does, it'll do, like, nothing. So you get knocked over. Beautiful. He's now down on the ground. And will be on the ground for some time. So all we do now is start attacking and go, 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 go! We just about got him. Are we fine? Yep, no one else detected that. So, okay. Once again, we just put everything together and... I was about to say, for some reason I can't loot this guy. But okay, we can loot this guy. That's fine. So that's used up, like, maybe 60 seconds. But now I'm in a menu. Okay, this real-world timing system is not going to work out. The point is, we've got some good stuff off you. That's good. Don't need the rest of this. And okay, now that's done, go back over to baseball bat. And back over to, like, you know, very light armor, etc., etc. Pop on my nice cowboy hat. Lovely. So, okay. Now, we're nice and light. So, what we do now is we go into the Bison Steve. But that's actually going to be potentially not as bad. Because all we need to do is find the right moments to take out certain enemies. And we don't need to kill everyone. All we need to do, really, is get to Beagle at the end, free him, and he'll sneak out. Because he doesn't cause any trouble with any enemies whatsoever. So, okay, just mosey inside. We'll see what we're flipping dealing with here, because I haven't got my thing on, right? No, I don't have my torch on, that's fine. In we go. Like, 3 minutes or something to go. So, no one's going to detect anything. I can just walk straight by these people. That guy will sometimes go in the shop. That's the moment we take him out. There's 2 people floating around here. One of whom goes into, yes, that office over there, like the big hall for a second. This guy just patrols the hallway. So I would like... okay, none of you are in a perfect position, to be honest. So what we'll do instead is just crack open this door, keeping a very close eye on time here. Shut that door behind me. You, sir, are an easy target. So we just get behind you. That's fine. You're isolated. One grand slam. We'll take you out. Down you go. Beautiful. So just loot him as well, because there's no reason not to. Time is not passing at this exact moment in time. And the door to the kitchen should be closed. Right, yep, that's closed. So, okay. Beagle, me and you need to have a nice chat.
Well, I'm Deputy Beagle, and I'm being held hostage. Can you imagine? I'd be most grateful if you would set me free.
And okay, I will very happily do that, and what I'm not going to do is try and pass any of the speech checks this guy's got, because if you pass the speech checks, 1, you can just get the information you need immediately, but then he's still stuck in here, so that doesn't really help me, because I need him free to do my kind of town, and 2, I could persuade him to stay with me and fight, which I don't want him to do, because he'll start a fight. If I just basically accept this guy's a massive coward, let him loose, and then he sneaks out, then yes, everything stays nice and peaceful, which is ideal, that's what we want. So, you, sir, are going to be set free. Lovely. And yes, on top of that, you are not going to be helping me, okay? And yeah, there goes my kind of town. We'll get to that in just a second. For the time being, yeah, just get him out of here. We'll figure out whether we want to do any more looting or any more killing before we go. Because there's one more item I would like to get. But yeah, in a perfect world, I wouldn't mind taking out 1 or 2 powder gangers. Sorry, these aren't powder gangers. These just like convicts while we go. So, you just mosey off in sneaky mode. I go back into sneaky myself. And that was all not using up time. So, problem is there's no way to keep track of how much time has been used or not in this game, which is delightful. So, okay. He's just going to sneak out. They're not going to see the corpse of their friend, which is A-okay. I'm invisible, so we don't need to worry about anything for the time being. Now, where precisely are... Yeah, you're the guy who goes in and out of the hallway. You are, yes, a corridor man. Problem is, I would like you to be walking... Okay. He's now definitely passed, so we can Grand Slam at you. That's fine. So down you go. There's one more thing I would like to get in here. There is... hang on. There's definitely a skill book in here. Right, I don't want to be hanging around, though. There's definitely a skill book in here, but I can't remember where it is, and I've decided I just want to go, because in a second, that guy's going to be back. You know what? There is a skill book in there, but it's like, you know, a flipping, yes, barter skill book. So I've decided I don't need it, and I'm starting to panic, so we're just going to, yes, crack open this door. Obviously, time is not passing at this exact moment in time, because I'm like, you know, in a flipping mini-game or whatnot. But yeah, while I'm just cracking open this computer, if that guy comes down the corridor and sees his friend being, like, dead and whatnot, that will put him into a fairly persistent caution state that will reactivate every time he sees the corpse. Now, that doesn't mean I'm in danger, but it does mean I can't get a sneak attack on him. So, yeah, you've got to be careful where you kill people so the corpses don't get spotted. Still, for the time being, don't worry about that for now. Just to crack open the... Gosh darn it, I can't crack open the safe, but I can get, ideally, some drugs. Nothing particularly useful, to be honest, but a doctor's bag and a fridge might give me booze! A precious booze! Spot on. Okay, you know what? That'll do. Also, watch out for skeletons, because Bethesda physics sometimes means, yes, skeletons will just do damage to you, which is hilarious. So, you know what? I've decided it's not worth it. Like, going back in order to actually kill those people. It's not worth much at all. So, okay. We're now A-okay. Probably got a little bit of time left, but it's actually been as the crow flies, like, but in terms of time, not distance, if you know what I mean, 8 minutes since I actually started using the stealth boy. But because I was in menus for large parts of that time, okay, I need to invent a better way of keeping track of, you know, timing for the stealth boys. Because I probably had loads of time, actually, given I was in menus for so much of that. Though, yeah, held myself to your stuff. Sadly, not much. And yeah, go into the Nash residence because, well, 1, fridge number 2, everybody loves a fridge. Lovely. But on top of that, yeah, fixing things, a programmer's digest, a spot on. One of those we might actually get some use out of very bloody soon indeed. So, okay. With that done, we've now done everything we need to do in the Bison Steve. Now, actually, hang on. While I'm... There we go. There's the stealth boy. So, right, it wasn't that far off. Yeah, there's one thing I want to grab as well, which is if you just mosey onto the tracks here, take a right, then go up to the top, like behind the sign at the front. Here we go, just hop off here, etc, etc. 1, we get some more drugs, some more booze, lovely. And also, a pair of binoculars, which are normally kind of useless because, yes, the zoom on these is, not very impressive. But in a world where I don't have guns with scopes or whatnot, in theory, this could be a bit useful. Though, yeah, prepare to be underwhelmed if you've never bothered using the binoculars. That's it. That's all the zoom you get. It's not much, but sure, I will take and keep these because they're not a gun. Possibly the game considers them a gun, in terms of, like, you know, how they're coded or something, given the game also considers the camera to be a gun. But we don't consider these a gun. They're blatantly not a gun, okay? These are fine. That done, just a step inside the Vicky and Vance, so we can actually make some very fast progress in a whole bunch of quests.
I don't know what it was brought you to Prim, youngster, but you might want to rethink your plans. Town's gone to hell.
Oh, you leave that to me, Mr. Nash. I have got plans for you. And on top of that, this good man is also a store. So, okay, may as well just sell a whole bunch of stuff we've been picking up from various sources. Lovely. And even better, the guy's selling a bladed gauntlet, and not 100% sure whether we'll get much use out of it, but okay. I'm gonna take that because the bladed gauntlet is, yeah, just a really bloody solid. And just a toss of stim packs at you until we are basically full up of your money. Spot on. And then, of course, over to our good friend Deputy Beagle, who we just rescued.
Well, that was quite an adventure. We taught those convicts a thing or two, didn't we? Breaking myself out of a hostage situation. Not to diminish your role in it, of course, but it was quite thrilling. Problem is, there's still no law in Prim. What are we to do the next time ruffians menace us and hold us hostage?
I do enjoy that Deputy Beagle just never accepts the possibility that, as deputy, he could become sheriff.
Oh no, I'm just the deputy, and I can't be a deputy without a sheriff. It's called chain of command.
That's genuinely one of my favourite lines in the whole game. I love Deputy Beagle. And as for my kind of town, right. We could mosey around to the NCRCF to pick up a new sheriff for this town. There's a prisoner there who's a good candidate. Or alternatively, we could bring the society into the NCR. However, there's a much easier option. Prim Slim, you magnificent bastard, I can't help but notice that you are wearing a fabulous hat. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the only qualification that matters. And as you can see, with just a science of 30, we could get this guy to be the sheriff. And I was about to say, we could use the Programmer's Digest to sort that out immediately. But I also can't help but notice, we're currently under the effect of alcohol, so I mean, I can only assume that, yes, given it's been so long, the alcohol must have stacked, like, back to back. So, I'm still under the effect of alcohol, because one alcohol runs out, then the next one activates. So, the absinthe must have been, like, a different hue of alcohol that's worn off. But maybe the beer is still in effect, because I know that's how it works for Stealth Boys. If you do 2 Stealth Boys in a row, it just adds the timer of the second onto the end of the first. You never, like, lose out or anything, so okay, booze must work the same way. Which means, right now, my intelligence has been, yes, reduced from 9 to 8. And my science is 26. So, yeah, if I just actually do a flipping mentats right now, there we go, science flipping 30. Back over to you, Mr. Slim. And now, congratulations, we've got a new sheriff without even leaving the room.
Law enforcement protocols reinstated, partner. Initializing use of force authorization. Authorization found. Yeah!
There we go. He is apparently delighted to be able to kill people again. Good luck, Prim Slim. And that gets me straight up to level 3. So, okay, this is where stuff gets tricky. Because as time goes by, more and more speech checks are going to be showing up, and they're going to be nastier and nastier. But on top of that, I wouldn't object to more and more sneak. But every single tiny bit of melee weapons is critical, because just increasing the damage by, like, 1 would multiply out hugely when it comes to sneak attacks. And on top of that, in this game, I'm not going to be just using melee weapons. In fact, melee and unarmed do very different things. So I wouldn't object in the slightest to moving unarmed in the right direction too. Okay, I'm going to give myself a tiny bit of unarmed. I'm going to give myself, yeah, just a little bit of speech too. And the rest could go, yeah, into melee weapons. I think that's not a bad spread, all things considered, though. I'm giving up some sneak there. Okay, you know what? I'm just putting sneak up to 45. Unarmed will get back to you another time, I promise. and better with the local convicts apparently dealt with, because, I don't know, I guess we assume Prim Slim's gonna go and shoot them or something. Yes, that means all of you guys are naff off out of the casino, which is very useful, because I've got a little bit of looting as needs to be done. So yeah, now the place is empty, it's pretty easy to just get into a quiet corner. And yeah, now we're back here, inside the old, like, ship exchange location or whatnot. Which lets me help myself to a whole bunch of money. Beautiful. And some of the safes are just easy locks too, which is functionally just, you know, free loot to free XP. But far more importantly than anything else, not even inside one of the lock safes, just sitting out in the open in this one here, we've got ourselves one 9mm submachine gun, absolutely fine, a whole bunch of drugs, brilliant, but the spiked knuckles. They're the real star at the back, and seriously, for such a tiny light weapon, oh, these things hit bloody hard. Because these things, even with my unarmed being a bit on the underwhelming side right now, have a damage of 23, outperforming literally anything else in my inventory right now. And sure, the baseball bat could double up its damage with Grand Slam and these things can't, but let's just say by the end of this run, potentially, we might have got entirely over to unarmed, because the damage ceiling for unarmed weapons is, quite frankly, ludicrous. Still, I would say as the sun rises on a newly free Prim, how about we wrap things up there? But next time... Right, this is where things get a little bit complicated. There is, of course, nothing to stop me moving straight on towards Nipton and making my way ultimately round to Novak. But on top of that, the Mojave Outpost has potentially got some rather easy quests I could pick up as well. Now, Prim's free, the NCRCF, it could be a good spot to visit too. Then, of course, the Sloan, and even, floating very nearby to where I am, the entrance to Lonesome Flipping Road. So, okay, lots of places we could go and visit, and honestly, I do not know which we ought to go to next. So join me next episode, and we shall flipping see. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerds, and this has been a Fallout New Vegas, You Only Live Once. Thank you very much, and goodbye. If we just hide the bodies, nobody needs to know about this. Yes! My stupid plan has worked! It turns out I'm a genius! The giant rat scorpion is not gone! Oh, hang on, there's more yet, though. I'm still being very shocked. Guys, where's the NCR? Nobody needs to know.